Many riders I talk to are afraid of running their dirt bike too lean. But did you know that's exactly what a dirty carb problem causes? At least in most cases. I'm Kelly Figure from MX Hideout, and I want to share 5 common problems or signs that your dirt bike carb is dirty and needs to be properly cleaned. Sign number 1 that your dirt bike carb is dirty is when it's hard or nearly impossible to start when cold, especially when it's been sitting for 6+ months without being run. For example, maybe you put it away for storage and it started great very easily within 2 or 3 kicks every time. But now, after it's been sitting, it takes 5, 10, 20 kicks, or maybe it doesn't even start at all after you kick 50 times and your leg is so tired that it feels like it's jello. That's a good sign that the carb is dirty, and it's often the pilot jet, which I'll get to in a future video. Sign number 2 that your carb is dirty is if it won't stay running or idling. Now, it could just be the idle is set too low, but if it runs well with the choke on, but as soon as you turn that choke off, it stops running, that's a good sign that it's dirty. Or if you have to constantly keep revving the throttle, otherwise it's gonna die. Especially if you've already tried turning the idle screw up. Sign number 3 that your carb is dirty is if it's bogging out when trying to get going in first gear.
Oh boy.
So you pull in the clutch, shift it down, start letting out the clutch and give it some gas and just it just dies out. You might be able to get going if you can rev it up high enough, but as soon as you let the RPM drop, it just dies out. It's bogging out because it's running too lean, meaning it's not getting enough fuel to properly burn that fuel mixture. And if you want to know 6 alarming signs that your dirt bike is running too rich or too lean, I got a free guide in the description below. Sign number 4 that your dirt bike carb is likely dirty is if it starts on starting fluid, but then it dies right away. So I just bought recently YZ450F carbureted, and I kick it over 20 times, nothing. But then sprayed some starting fluid on the air filter, or you can spray it down the spark plug hole, and it popped off first or second kick. But then it died after a few seconds. Well, that's a good sign that the carb is either dirty or it's not getting fuel. Sign number 5 that your carb is likely dirty is if the carb overflow hose is leaking gas. So you turn the petcock or the fuel valve on so gas gets down to the carb, but after a few seconds, the gas leaks out of the overflow hose. This is likely because the float needle is sticking, likely because it's got dirt or junk on it. Sometimes just running the bike for several minutes, getting it fully warmed up and trying to clear that out can fix it. But if it's really dirty, or if the gas is really dirty, it may be inconsistent or just continuous until you actually properly clean the carb and fuel system. But if you're sick and tired of dealing with dirty carbs, because almost every used dirt bike I buy, I have to clean the carb in order to get it to run properly. Because if I don't, it takes 5, 10, 20 kicks to get started. It doesn't want to idle properly. It bogs out, inconsistent throttle response, or it doesn't have as much power as it should be. Just really frustrating symptoms. If you want to learn how to avoid ever cleaning your carb again, without using stable fuel stabilizer, you should check out this next video right here, or subscribe if it's not already out. I'm Kelly Fagan from MX Hideout. Ride safe, have fun.